All right, so we're good for rental season then, right?
Rentals? Like, I know we sell instruments. I didn't know we rented them.
Joshua, you've worked here for 10 years. Actually, more than that.
Who are you?
Hey gang, happy Wednesday. I'm Robert.
And it's Josh.
And on Wednesdays, we have conversations with you here from the couch at A&G Central Music.
And it's awkward sometimes. Oftentimes. Hey,
Like now.
how about renting an instrument? Let's go over that.
Sure. I feel qualified to talk about that because that's what we do here, but I'd like to talk more big picture today to parents who are maybe looking at avenues for getting an instrument. Renting is certainly one of the best in my view.
Right.
I can't speak for all companies, but a reputable company will only provide a really high quality instrument to your student, which is really important to the student because it gives them the best chance for success. Teachers and in the classroom typically have parameters that they want the instrument to fit into, and a company like ours will only provide an instrument that meets that expectation or exceeds it. The way the rental programs typically work, and certainly ours does, is that it's a very small monthly rental fee compared to the value of the instrument, so there's not a high cost to entering in to instrumental music. The rentals are all month to month, so it's very low commitment on the part of the parent. And then if it's a rental program like ours, it creates a very good experience for both the student and the parent. Because from the parent's point of view, really all they have to do is make that small rental payment every month. And from the student's point of view, they're always going to have the proper equipment working properly in the classroom when they need it.
Right.
And the way that works is that the rental company will assume all the risks. If the instrument is broken, damaged, whether it's just an adjustment that the instrument needs or was accidentally broken, the company will come out, pick up the instrument, fix it, and bring it back to you. If a student changes their mind and wants to play a different instrument, which often happens with the guidance of a teacher, the rental company like ours will pick up the instrument you're running and exchange it for the instrument that the student really wants, and that'll all happen never at a charge to you. And if music ends up not being that student's jam, they will be rewarded still for having that experience. I think there's still growth that happens even if the student plays the instrument for a little while and decides it's not for them.
Right.
But from the standpoint of the parent and the student, there's very low commitment there. Just reach out to us or the rental company you choose, and they'll come and get the instrument, and there should be no charge to return it.
Right.
And if student really loves playing music and they decide that it's something that they want to continue with, our rental program and most others should provide a path to ownership where we rebate all of the rental fees that are paid by the parent right to the price of the instrument, so they haven't thrown that rental money away and they end up owning something.
That's important.
And those purchase decisions also come with a pretty substantial discount. Ours is 30%. I know other companies offer discounts as well. So the rental option is a really good option. But what other ways could a parent get an instrument?
So really there's several ways. One of the ways that you could get an instrument is just buying it. Whether you buy something that's new or used. There's a lot of kids that are going through these programs that graduate and have some older instruments that you can purchase, oftentimes at a discount, that'll be suitable for a beginning musician. But there are a lot of low quality instruments out there also.
Does that hurt the student though at all if they have kind of a cheaply built instrument?
You'd be surprised how much it can affect the beginner musician. Even if it's a low quality instrument, it's not going to perform as well. They'll have issues with keeping it in good shape, and they might not even know that it's the instrument that's causing them not to be able to play well.
I've certainly seen that where the instrument doesn't play in tune at all and the student thinks that they're terrible because they don't sound like everybody else,
yeah.
Right?
But if that's your only experience, this is the only instrument I've ever played,
So
of course they think it's them. So really, you need to find someone that you can talk to about this. The teacher in the classroom is a good place to start. They'll have instruments that they recommend, instrument brands and models that they recommend for you to purchase. And if you see those ones used online, you can certainly pick them up. I would just do it early enough so that you can get it checked out at a repair shop in the area before you need it for school.
Another avenue that's available to parents are the instruments that surround us all the time. A lot of times we have a neighbor
Right.
whose student explored instrumental music and didn't stick with it, and they have an instrument, or someone in the family, you know, Aunt Edna has the closet clarinet that we can get out, right? These are really viable options because oftentimes those instruments are really high quality instruments, even if they're older.
Right.
You know, some of these
Yes.
instruments might be 20, 25 years old. They could still be very high quality and very viable for a student to use. So that's an avenue definitely to explore, because oftentimes those instruments come at no price. They're just loaned to the students so that they can explore music and see if it's for them. Couple of pitfalls to avoid there is you want to make sure that, again, that it's an instrument that someone that you trust recognizes, whether that be the educator that you work with at the school or a private teacher or a professional
Right.
that you may know. You definitely want to get their opinion on that instrument, and then you also definitely want to have someone who knows about instrument repair look at the instrument first, just to make sure that it's sanitized and clean and safe to play, and then just as important to make sure that the instrument's playing properly, so that, like we were talking about earlier, that experience for the student is a positive one. The instrument's working fine so that they're able to keep up with the other students that play. And the only potential pitfall there that you want to be careful of is just make sure that if you are borrowing an instrument from someone, that everybody's agreed on who's responsible for what.
Right.
Right? You know, if something happens to the instrument and happens to be damaged, or it's a total loss, you know, what is your responsibility
Right.
to make it right for that other person? As long as everybody's on the same page, that's a really good way to get an instrument. So there's a lot of options open. There's plenty of instruments to buy. There's certainly instruments to rent. And there may even be some free to use options out there.
Yeah.
Regardless which option you choose for your student, A&G Central Music or your local music store, I'm sure, is there to support you and your student, and we're all a really good resource. So reach out to us, and we're here to help.
Yeah. Happy to help with anything anyone needs. Just give us a call.
Anything else on your mind today, Joshua? Okay,
Yes.
so that's our content for today. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and you never know what we're going to talk about next.
Something.
Potentially.